A lot of very smart journalists are beginning to align with partisan politicians just to put food on the table. You know, it's a trend that is it the direction that the profession is beginning to go now? For you to survive, you need to just identify with one politician and begin to do all his bidding.
It's not necessary. You know, from my experience, because I worked as an editor for almost 29 years, mostly with The Guardian. And I know that there are some places I get to, and I discovered that as an editor, as a journalist, you are more powerful than that politician that you are running after. A lot more people read. I even wrote a lot when
well, his money is more powerful than your money.
Course,
that's where the problem starts.
But you know, that's one of the tragedies of our society, that we're not actually worshiping intelligence, not intellection, not the quality. You know, I'm a Yoruba person. We have what we call the Barokini, the Bajuma. And, you know, it's talking about the popular, the influential, the rich. If you go and ask a lot of people in Yoruba land, it is the one that has essence, that is serving his community, that is doing that. It doesn't have to have money. Most of our parents didn't have money, but because of what they have done, they win. So if you are a journalist and you sell your soul to, actually, I have to tell you, one of the reasons I left newsroom was because I couldn't cope anymore. The pressure was becoming too much. And you can imagine you sit in the newsroom and someone called you and says, well, I just saw your name on a payroll, or you have a land in a state I've never been to. And I'm saying, well, I said, well, there's a dozen of editors who are signed on your behalf every month. I said, well, when I'm 50, I do not want to continue this kind of job. So quietly, I left, among other disagreements.
Which is probably why recently you said your journey into journalism was a spiritual move, or is a spiritual move. So when did this spiritual calling happen?
Well,
we never knew that journalists, get calling as well.
No, they get calling. Some of them are pastors now.
Okay.
After, if you are not aligned with politicians, you better be a pastor.
So how and when did your spiritual move happen?
Well, I think my own calling was the fact that I was an actor, trained as an actor, and I was on stage with, well, I'm not that old, like Richard Amijo and co. We're all involved in Ajo Productions, and we're doing a lot of plays, and people were not writing about it. And so one night, we were in Ijesha there, and Mosquito, then Richard said, look, why don't you start writing about what we're doing? Why are we here? So we started writing, and that was my formal move into journalism. I'm talking of 1983. But before then, I'd been fortunate to meet a teacher called Ben Tomoloju, the writer, journalist. He came to do his service in my secondary school. And so he started this drama society and things. And one of the things he insisted on, if you are a student of Ben Tomoloju, you must write an article per week. And he was working with the Punch as leader writer, and he would publish our article. You know, it wasn't big news to us because many people were not. But then, when we then decided to be writing about what we were doing, because we noted that art journalism then was not interested in theater, in literature, and the rest of them, even though we won all the prizes. But so we said, why don't you start writing? So we started writing, I was writing, and we would go, then there was no Marwa, so you walked to the...
Anyway, we'll come back and talk about journalism a little bit more. For now, I'm looking and see what our colleagues are preparing for the people today. It's the other news, don't go anywhere. It's about to get even more exciting. Keep watching. In a moment, we'll check in with a certain professor and continue this interesting conversation with Jahman and Anikulapo. Yeah, it's the other news, guys. Yeah, you've been a promoter of arts and culture over the years. Would you say governance in Nigeria has affected the way we enjoy arts and culture positively or negatively?
You know, like some of my comrades, we like to lament that the government has not been interested in the arts. For instance, I tell people, I mean, it is a shame when some of us go out and they say, what is the cultural policy of Nigeria? We do not have. The first article I wrote as a journalist in 1987 was on cultural policy. Up to today, we do not have it. How do you have a multi-ethnic country with hundreds of ethnic groups and there's no cultural policy that define how the Yoruba person and the Ibibio person and how we relate or how we relate with the outside world? So we like to lament about that. No endowment fund for the art, no training school for young people who want to be artists. I mean, so, and without government, people have been able to manage. I mean, in your industry that where you come, Nollywood, look at the way it has grown. No government involvement. Maybe they should keep out. Because we now notice that anytime government puts a hand or leg or head in anything, they destroy. So let's keep the destroyer out and let's continue to enjoy our life.
It's not a laughing matter, actually. It's not a laughing matter. You know, it's actually disturbing. And I'll ask you this question. One of the things that most countries are doing differently from us is their ability to market their country as a brand. And it's been working for them. Even other African countries here, their ability to position their countries so that it will attract people, whether by the use of tourism or every other. So, as a journalist, why has it been difficult to properly market Nigeria?
Number one, the policy environment is very poor. We have a lot of treaties, we have a lot of documents that we have signed to say, okay, we too were civilized, I want to belong to the Committee of Responsible Nations. But we've not activated them. So we keep on signing, and you know, one of the
so we'll just be signing treaties and putting inside cupboard.
Yeah. One of the disappointment I got when big Nigerian government started signing treaty with NGOs, with British councils and this foreign culture. So I had to ask the minister when I said, what do you want me, I have an NGO, if my country is signing a treaty with an NGO. So who should I sign with? The Queen or who? So it's really it's something that's so disturbing. We cannot market Nigeria the way we're going. There's no policy. There's no policy. So nothing is regulating anybody.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. So if you had unlimited resources to create an investigative documentary, seeing all these things that we are highlighting, what would that documentary be? What subjects will it cover?
I think it would be more about how the system wastes its own resources. The way we have shortchanged our children who are in school. I mean, you were just coming out of 4 months of strike. What country does that? How do you want to move these kids forward? You send them home, you are negotiating endlessly. Yet we know how much they were spending. You look, for me, I don't know if I can go political.
You were free. It's a
the
program.
trader money.
What we're interested in is the facts.
The trader money should have been given to the schools so that the student can get back to school.
Jahman, Anikulapo, thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.